everyone. This video is about quadratic equation, chapter number 4. In this video, we'll be discussing about introduction to solving quadratic equation by factorization method, completing the square, and quadratic formula. So all these methods are used to find the zeros of a quadratic equation and the roots and its nature. The roots and zeros, they have the same meaning. So all these methods will be used to find the roots of a quadratic equation. Introduction. Quadratic equation. Quadratic equation in one variable is an equation of degree 2. The standard form of quadratic equation is this: a square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are real numbers and a is not equal to 0, but b and c can be 0. So we have a condition that a should not be equal to 0, but b and c, they can take the value of 0. A quadratic equation are polynomials of degree 2 and it will have two zeros. Since it is a polynomial of degree 2, all these are polynomials. Any quadratic equations are polynomials. It is a polynomial of degree 2, so it will have two zeros. Now we will discuss the different methods used to find the zeros of a quadratic equation. The first method, factorization method, splitting the middle term. So let us understand this method in 4 steps. In the step 1, you consider a quadratic equation 2x squared plus 9x plus 10. Here a is 2, your b is 9 and c is 10. The first step is to multiply the coefficient of x squared and the constant, which will give you 20. Second step, find all the factors of 20. You have to find all the factors of 20. 1 into 20, 2 into 20, 4 into 5, 20. Step 3, the sign of the last term tells us whether to add or subtract the factors of 20. Now this point is very important. The sign of the constant will decide whether we have to add or we have to subtract the factors in order to get the middle term. Now since it is plus, so you have to add. 4 plus 5 will give you 9. Now step number 4 is which pair of the factors gives us the middle term. Like I've explained, after adding you should be getting the middle term, which is 9. So 4 plus 5 will give you 9. So these are the steps used in finding the roots of a quadratic equation. The first method. Now the second method, completing the squares. Consider a quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c. This is a standard form of quadratic equation. Let us learn this in 4 steps. The step 1, send the constant term to the RHS. So sending the constant term, it will be minus. Step 2, divide both sides by the coefficient of x squared. Now you have to divide the coefficient of with the coefficient of x squared all the terms. So this a will be removed. Bx divided by a minus c divided by a. The reason we are doing that this is because we have to make an equation in such a way that the coefficient of x squared is always 1. Whatever the value of a is, you have to divide with that so that the coefficient of x squared is 1. Step 3, take half of the coefficient of x. So if you take half of the coefficient of x, half of this, the second term, so bx divided by 2a. Now step 4, this will be step 4, add and subtract b by a whole thing square on the LHS. So you have to add and as well as you have to subtract. So adding and subtracting b by a on the LHS. So this will not affect the given equation. This will get cancelled, and these two and these two we can cancel. You will get the same thing, bx divided by a. So nothing has changed. So the reason we are doing this is because we have to make this in the form of a formula x a square plus b square plus 2ab, which is equal to a plus b the whole thing square. Now from here we can easily find out which one is a and which one is b. So x is a and the value of b is b by a. So all this thing can be written as x plus b by a the whole thing square is equal to minus c by a by using this formula. So let us look at one example. Suppose we have a quadratic equation of this 2x square plus 9x plus 5. The first step, sending the constant, so it will be minus 5. Next, taking the half of the coefficient of x, you have to multiply with 2 because 2 and 2 it will get cancelled. You will get 9x. Next, adding and subtracting 9 by 2, which is b by 2 on the LHS. This will get cancelled. Now all this thing is in the form of a plus b the whole thing square is equal to, now this minus, if we send it this side, it will be plus 9 by 2. So 5 plus 9 square is 81 divided by 4. Taking the LCM, so you will get minus 20 plus 81 divided by 4, which will give you 61 by 4. Now the final step will be taking square root. So if you take square root, these 2 and square will get cancelled. So you will get x plus 9 by 2 and plus minus root 61 divided by 2, because root 4 is 2. So we can take out these 2 outside the root, but 61 is not a perfect square, so it will remain inside the root. So plus minus root 61 divided by 2. So from here you can find out x is equal to plus minus root 61 divided by 2 minus plus 9 by 2, you send it this side, minus 9 by 2. So this is the another method to find the roots of a quadratic equation. The final step, the final method, quadratic equation and the nature of the roots. So we'll be discussing these two topics at the same time. For any quadratic equation of the form, this is the standard form of a quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c. The quadratic formula is this. So with the help of this formula, we can find out the roots of any quadratic equation by using this formula. We simply have to put the values of a, b and c, which will be given in the question. Nature of the roots. Now this is the nature of the roots will be determined by a term called discriminant, which is d, and this is the discriminant d is the value which is inside here, b square minus 4ac. So whatever the value of this will determine what type of roots it has. Now nature of the roots, the first one is if b square minus 4ac, that is the term which is inside the root, if it is greater than 0, then it will have two distinct real roots. Now if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, it will have two equal roots. Now if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, that is negative, it will have no real roots. Now if it is positive, it will have two distinct real roots. If it is 0, it will have two equal roots, and if it is negative, it will have no real roots. So these are the different values of d. This should be minus, this should be minus b square minus 4ac. So these are the different values of d with the help of which we can determine what is the nature of the roots. If it is less than, if it is greater than 0, which is positive, it will have two distinct real roots. If it is equal to 0, it will have equal roots. If it is less than 0 or negative, it will have no real roots. Hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.